Destroy your emotional reactions or be their slave forever. Napoleon Hill. Have you ever noticed that the most successful people in the world seem to live in a different reality? While everyone panics during a crisis, they remain calm. While others cry over losses, they see opportunities. It's as if nothing affects them. What if I told you this isn't luck? It's not privilege, and it's definitely not coincidence. It's a mental technology that Napoleon Hill discovered studying 500 of America's richest men, and it was kept secret for 87 years because it was considered too dangerous for the masses. In the next few minutes, you'll discover the protocol of the unshakable, the same mental system Thomas Edison used to fail 1,093 times and still create General Electric, that John D. Rockefeller applied during the 1907 panic to multiply his fortune by 10, and that Steve Jobs activated when he was fired from Apple and returned to transform it into the world's most valuable company. But first, let me tell you about Rafael, a 43-year-old entrepreneur from Belo Horizonte who lost everything in 2023. And when I say everything, I mean everything. Bankrupt company, traumatic divorce, 890,000 reais in debt, and diagnosed with severe depression. 6 months later, he sent me a message that still gives me chills. Renato, it happened exactly as you said. When I stopped reacting and started acting as if nothing affected me, the game changed. Today I have a new company generating 380,000 per month. I remarried. And the craziest part, people seek me out asking what my secret is. Napoleon Hill called this the law of mental non-resistance. Page 312 of The Law of Success. He wrote something modern publishers censor. The man who masters his emotional reactions becomes magnetic to success, not because he ignores problems, but because problems cannot access his core of power. You'll discover why 97% of people live in reactive mode and how this literally blocks the brain synapses responsible for creativity and problem solving. You'll understand the 11-minute morning ritual that reprograms your nervous system to operate at alpha frequency, the same as geniuses and visionaries. Secret number 3 is what will shock you: how to use the inverted mirror technique to transform every attack into fuel for your growth. And at the end, a 5-minute exercise you can do right now to instantly activate unshakable mode. It was October 1929. The American stock market had just crashed. Mass suicides on Wall Street, generations of fortunes evaporated in hours. In the middle of this chaos, a man walked calmly down Fifth Avenue. Reporters rushed to him. "Mr. Rockefeller, you lost $150 million today. How can you be so calm?" His answer changed Napoleon Hill's life forever. "Young men, I haven't lost anything. The money still exists. It just temporarily changed hands. While you see destruction, I see the greatest buying opportunity in history." Over the next 3 years, Rockefeller multiplied his fortune by 10. But how? How can someone think like this in the middle of financial apocalypse? Hill became obsessed with this question. He spent the next 7 years exclusively studying people who thrived in crises. Edison, who went bankrupt 1,093 times. Ford, who was ridiculed for making horseless carriages. Carnegie, who started earning $2 a week. They all had something in common: a mental immunity to external chaos. Modern neuroscience has finally explained what Hill intuited. Dr. Antonio Damasio from USC mapped the brains of successful CEOs during simulated crises. Shocking discovery: while ordinary people activate the amygdala, fear center, these people activate the prefrontal cortex, strategy center. It's literally a different brain functioning. But here's the plot twist: you're not born with this. It's trainable, repeatable, hackable. Marina, 38 years old, sales executive in Sao Paulo, March 2024. "I lost my biggest client, 70% of my revenue. My first instinct was despair. Then I remembered the protocol. Instead of reacting, I asked the magic question: how can I use this to my advantage? 48 hours later, I had an epiphany. That client was limiting me. Without them, I had time to prospect. In 60 days, I closed 5 new contracts. Revenue increased 300%. The client who abandoned me did me a favor I would pay to have. The second principle is even more powerful. Hill called it instant emotional transmutation. It works like this. Every negative emotion is energy. Anger, fear, frustration, it's all misdirected fuel. The unshakable have learned to take this energy and instantly redirect it to productive action. Michael Jordan was cut from his school basketball team. Instead of getting depressed, he says, I transformed humiliation into obsession. Every time I remembered the rejection, I took 100 more shots. Result? 6 NBA titles, 5 MVPs, the greatest player of all time. Oprah Winfrey was fired from TV for being unfit for television. She said in an interview, the moment I heard that, something changed in me. Instead of defending myself, I thought, interesting, I'll create my own standard of fitness. Today, she's worth $3 billion. Steve Jobs, fired from Apple, the company he created. His words, it was the best thing that happened to me. The heaviness of being successful was replaced by the lightness of being a beginner again. He returned and created the iPhone, iPad, and transformed Apple into the first trillion-dollar company. See the pattern? They don't deny reality. They instantly reinterpret it. It's a mental technology you can install in your brain. But how exactly do you do this? How do you train your brain to operate at this frequency? Napoleon Hill developed a 21-day protocol that he only shared with his inner circle. Today, for the first time, I'll reveal it completely. Week 1, deprogramming. You'll identify your emotional triggers. Every time something affects you, instead of reacting, you'll stop and observe. It's like becoming a scientist of yourself. Note, interesting, when X happens, I feel Y. Without judgment, just observation. Seems simple. It's in this simplicity that 90% fail. Your ego will resist violently. It's normal. Continue. Week 2, reprogramming. Now comes the magic. For each identified trigger, you'll create an alternative response. Example, criticism. Great free feedback to improve. Rejection. Perfect. It wasn't meant to be. Something better is coming. Loss. Space opened for something bigger to enter. You're literally rewriting your mental software. Week 3, automation. This is where permanent transformation happens. Your new pattern becomes automatic. You no longer need to think to respond differently. It's your new nature. People will start commenting, wow, nothing shakes you. And you'll realize it's true. Carlos Eduardo, 51 years old, owner of a metallurgy in Caxias do Sul. January 2024, fire destroyed 60% of the factory. My partner was crying. Employees in panic. I looked at the ashes and said, everyone, we just won the opportunity to build the factory of our dreams. It seemed crazy, but something in me knew it was true. I used the insurance to modernize everything. We implemented Industry 4.0. Today, we produce 3x more with half the space. The fire was the best thing that happened to us. The third principle is the most controversial. Napoleon Hill called it the invisible advantage of the unshakable. When you stop reacting emotionally, something mysterious happens. People start trusting you instinctively. Investors, clients, partners, everyone wants to be near someone who transmits solidity. Dr. Amy Cuddy from Harvard proved this scientifically. People who remain calm in pressure situations are perceived as 73% more competent, 81% more trustworthy, and 92% more likely to be chosen for leadership. It's as if you activate an invisible magnetism. But attention, this isn't about faking or suppressing emotions. It's about consciously choosing your response. It's about accessing a place within you that remains untouched by external chaos. Zen masters call it eye of the hurricane. Napoleon Hill called it inviolable mental sanctuary. Now I'll share the most powerful exercise of the protocol, the inverted mirror. Today, before sleeping, you'll do this. Stand in front of the mirror. Look into your eyes. Now think of the worst thing that happened to you recently. Feel the emotion. Let it come. Now, maintaining eye contact with yourself, ask, how is this serving me? What can I learn? How can I use this as a springboard? Keep looking until you find the answer. It might take 2 minutes or 20, but the answer always comes. And when it comes, you'll feel an energetic shift, as if a key turned inside you. Write down the answer. Thank the problem for existing. Yes, thank it sincerely. Patricia, 44-year-old psychologist, Porto Alegre. My practice had a waiting list. Out of nowhere, 15 patients cancelled in the same month. Total panic. I did the inverted mirror. The answer came, you're being called to something bigger. 2 weeks later, I received an invitation to be head of psychology at a multinational. Salary 5x higher. If the patients hadn't left, I would have refused due to lack of time. Now the fourth element of the protocol, the morning mental shield. Every day, before looking at your phone, before talking to anyone, you'll do this 11-minute ritual, 3 minutes of 4 to 7 to 8 breathing. Inhale for 4, hold for 7, exhale for 8. This recalibrates your nervous system to alpha mode. 3 minutes visualizing your perfect day, but with a plot twist. Include 3 problems and visualize yourself responding with total mastery. Your brain doesn't differentiate vivid visualization from reality. You're literally training your responses. 3 minutes repeating the declaration of unshakability. I am the calm eye of the hurricane. Nothing external alters my center. I respond. I don't react. I use everything to my advantage. I am unshakable. 2 minutes of gratitude, but not common gratitude. Gratitude for problems. Thank you for the challenge that will strengthen me today. Thank you for the difficult person who will teach me patience. Thank you for the obstacle that will reveal my creativity. Fernando, 55-year-old investor, Rio de Janeiro. March 2020, pandemic. My portfolio dropped 40% in a week. Everyone selling in panic. I did the mental shield. Total clarity. Instead of selling, I bought more. Today, my wealth is 500% higher. The crisis was my greatest ally. But here comes the warning Napoleon Hill made. This power is addictive. When you discover you can remain calm while everyone panics, when you realize problems don't affect you anymore, when you see opportunities where others see disasters, you never want to go back to reactive mode. Some will call you cold, insensitive. It's the price. But you know the truth. You feel everything. You just choose how to respond. It's the difference between being a slave or master of your emotions. Neuroscientist Viktor Frankl, Holocaust survivor, summed it up perfectly. Between stimulus and response, there is a space. In that space is our power to choose our response. In our response lies our growth and our freedom. Juliana, 33-year-old digital entrepreneur, Florianopolis. I was cancelled on social media. 50,000 followers attacking me. I thought about disappearing. Then I applied the protocol. Instead of defending myself, I created content about resilience. Result? I gained 200,000 new followers who identified with me. The hate became my biggest marketing campaign. Now comes the part that will mess with your head. When you master unshakability, what Hill called success synchronicities starts happening. It's as if the universe conspires in your favor. Scientific explanation. When you stop vibrating at the frequency of fear and problems, you start vibrating at the frequency of solutions and opportunities. Your brain literally starts noticing things that were always there, but you didn't see. Psychologist William James called this directed selective attention. Practical example. You decide to buy a red car. Suddenly, you see red cars everywhere. The cars were always there, but now you notice. Same thing with opportunities. When you're in unshakable mode, opportunities appear out of nowhere. Ricardo, 40-year-old consultant, Curitiba. Client stiffed me for 95,000. Old version of me would have freaked out, sued, lost months of energy. New version thought, interesting. I'll create a system to never depend on one client again. I developed a risk diversification methodology. It became my main product. Generates 150,000 per month just selling the method. The default made me rich. The fifth element is the most subtle, instant emotional alchemy. It works like this. At the exact moment something negative happens, you have 17 seconds to transmute the energy. After 17 seconds, the emotion crystallizes and becomes harder to change. Technique. Something bad happens. Take a deep breath. Say mentally, I transform this into power now. Visualize the negative energy turning into golden light rising up your spine. Ask, what powerful action can I take now? And take it immediately. Sounds crazy? Thomas Edison did this. Every time an experiment failed, he danced. Literally danced in the laboratory. His assistants thought he was crazy. He explained, I'm celebrating because I eliminated another way that doesn't work. I'm closer to the answer. 1093. Failures later, the light bulb worked. Sixth element, the principle of productive counterattack. When someone attacks, criticizes, or sabotages you, instead of retaliating at the same level, you use the attack's energy to level up. Modern example, Cristiano Ronaldo. Every time they say he's too old, he breaks another record. Criticism is his fuel. He said, your doubts are my motivation. Keep doubting. Gabriella, 41-year-old lawyer, Recife, partner betrayed me, stole clients, tried to destroy my reputation. Old me would have gone to war. New me thought, great, universe is telling me to fly solo. I set up my own practice, specialized in digital law. Today I make 5x more. She did me a favor I should pay for. Napoleon Hill had a phrase that's not in any public book. The unshakable man is the most dangerous in the world because while others waste energy reacting, he accumulates power acting. Seventh element, the instant reset protocol. When you feel you're losing center, do this. Stop. Stop everything for 60 seconds. Breathe. 10 deep breaths. Observe. What am I feeling? Where in the body? Choose. How would my wisest self respond? Act. Immediate action aligned with that wisdom. Marcos, 48-year-old doctor, Brasilia. Medical error, patient suing me, career at risk. Use the protocol, total clarity. Instead of defending myself, I took full responsibility, cared for the patient above all. He withdrew the lawsuit, became my biggest advocate. Today I lecture on humanization in medicine. The error redefined my career. Here's the truth few have the courage to admit. The world needs unshakable people. In a sea of emotional reactives, the calm becomes king. It's an absurd competitive advantage. Peter Thiel, PayPal billionaire, said, the calmest person in the room usually wins, not because they're smarter, but because they can think while others just react. Eighth element, the cosmic perspective technique. When something seems like the end of the world, ask this question, will this matter in 5 years? If not, it doesn't deserve your emotional energy. If yes, ask, how can I use these 5 years to transform this into victory? Napoleon Hill told the story of a man who lost everything in the 1929 crash. Instead of killing himself like many, he thought, in 10 years, this will be history. I'll write the best story possible. He founded the White Castle restaurant chain, died a multi-millionaire. Anna Carolina, 36-year-old coach, Goiânia. Husband asked for divorce via WhatsApp. Kids with me. Zero alimony, total despair. I did the cosmic perspective. I thought, in 5 years I want to look back and be proud. I transformed my pain into mission, created program for women to start over. 3,000 students, revenue of 500K month. I sent half the alimony to my ex, out of gratitude. Ninth element, the power of strategic silence. When attacked, don't respond for 24 hours. In that period, the other's emotion cools, your clarity increases, and the perfect response emerges. Warren Buffett never responds to criticism. He said, I let my results speak. It's more eloquent than any defense. Now I'll reveal the 10th and most powerful element, reverse visualization. Every night before sleeping, visualize the worst possible scenario happening. But here's the twist. Visualize yourself dealing with total mastery, calm, centered, finding brilliant solutions. Your subconscious doesn't know the difference. You're literally installing resilient software. If the worst happens, you've already trained. If it doesn't happen, you've eliminated fear. Roberto Carlos, 57-year-old entrepreneur, Manaus. I visualized losing everything and rebuilding. It seemed morbid. 2023, I lost 80% in the market. But instead of panic, I felt familiarity. I had already lived this 100 times in my mind. I rebuilt in 8 months. I'm 200% above the previous peak. Let's talk about the dark side of unshakability. Some people will test you. They'll try to knock you off center. It's as if they feel your peace as an affront. Napoleon Hill warned, "The balanced man awakens imbalance in the unbalanced." But here's the secret. The more they try to destabilize you, the more you use it as training. It's like going to the gym. Each provocation is a weight that strengthens your mental muscle. Luciana, 45-year-old, entrepreneur, Fortaleza. Ex-husband does everything to provoke me. Uses the kids, makes up stories, sues for everything. Before I'd freak out. Now I think, thanks for the free unshakability training. The more he tries, the more zen I become. It's driving him crazy. Judge noticed the pattern. I got full custody. 11th element, the water principle. Bruce Lee said, "Be water, my friend." Water flows around obstacles, doesn't clash head-on, always finds a way. Can be vapor, liquid, or ice. As needed. Apply this. Obstacle appears. Instead of forcing, ask, how can I flow around this? There's always a path that requires less energy and generates more results. Daniel, 29-year-old programmer, São Paulo. Startup failed. Partners fighting. Lawsuits. Instead of entering the war, I left silently. Created new company alone with everything I learned. They're still fighting. I already sold for 5 million. Now the emergency protocol, when everything seems to collapse simultaneously, and it will happen. It's the universe's test. Do this. Accept totally. Say, okay, universe, I accept this challenge. List 10 ways this could be the best thing that ever happened. Choose the most absurd one and act as if it were true. Document everything. In 90 days, you'll understand. 12th element, the law of amplified return. When you don't react negatively, negative energy returns amplified to whoever sent it. It's pure physics. Action and reaction. Classic example. Competitor spreads lies about you. You don't respond, just continue delivering excellence. Clients notice the difference. Competitor loses credibility. You gain their clients. Priscilla, 37-year-old dentist, Victoria. Colleagues sabotaged my clinic, stole employees, spread that I was incompetent. I didn't respond. Focused on being even better. 6 months later, employees returned. She closed due to mismanagement. I bought her practice for 30% of value. Karma? No. Unshakability. Final and most important element, the sacred. Commitment. You must decide now. Not tomorrow. Not Monday. Now. Will you live reacting or responding? Will you be victim or architect of your destiny? Napoleon Hill was clear. The moment of decision is the moment of transformation. To postpone is to choose mediocrity. Do it now with me. Place your hand on your heart. Take a deep breath. Repeat. I choose to be unshakable. I choose to respond, not react. I choose to use everything to my advantage. I am the calm eye of the hurricane. From today, nothing takes me from my center. I am unshakable. Feel the chills. It's your nervous system recognizing the truth. You just activated something that was always in you, just sleeping. Napoleon Hill's last words before dying. I taught people to attract wealth, but the greatest treasure is unshakable peace. When you have that, you have everything. If this knowledge touched something in you, don't keep it. Share with one person, just one, the right person, the one who is suffering and needs to discover that suffering is optional. Comment "I am unshakable" to activate the commitment publicly. The universe responds to public declarations with more force. If you're ready for the next level, there's a video here about how to activate Napoleon Hill's sixth sense. It's the natural continuation of this, but only watch if you're really committed to your transformation. Remember, from today, you have two choices at every moment: react as a victim or respond as a master. The choice was always yours. Now you have the tools. Welcome to the club of the unshakable, population less than 1% of humanity, but they're the ones who move the world. The transformation has already begun. Can you feel it? Act as if nothing affects you. Because deep down, when you access your true power, nothing really does. You are unshakable.